To younger guys and gals, college kids, graduate students, I have a goal every time I walk into class is to spend that hour, hour and a half, and perhaps give them a little bit of something to think about, which I'm hoping to do here, and not to bore them. Those are my two goals. I'm hoping to accomplish both of them, but one of them, either one would be okay as well. So it's funny that you mentioned the term big data. I was thinking about that. You know, it's now the newest buzz term, and our industry and our vendors seem to do that a lot. So I could think back at ERP. You know, what's an ERP? Anybody got anyone else think, what, this is just an accounting system? No? How about CRM is just a customer database? The one that to me was the biggest mind boggle. Like, how could they come up? What a brilliant term for business intelligence, which is just reporting tools, right? So anyway, big data, lots of data, easy to understand. When I think about my job as CIO, most of what I try to do is think about on a go-forward basis. What can I do for the organization to make it better? What can I do to use technology to drive revenues? What can I do to reduce expenses? And with all that good stuff, that's the stuff I really like. There's also the risk side. So what are the risks of bringing in new technology? And what I want to talk about today with this whole notion of data and managing data is both the opportunities but also managing the risks. So can we go to the next slide? Let's see. I need this tool. Perfect. So I thought we'd start with a little history lesson. You can also figure out how old I am. This was my first computer here. It was a compact portable. Anyone have this one?
I had that one.
You had that one. So they didn't have, it was about this big, right?
Yeah.
About that high, about that wide. And they called it a portable. They didn't call it a laptop. And they had a luggage handle on it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And when I bought it, I bought it with the most memory that the operating system could handle. Who remembers the most amount of memory the operating system could handle at that time? What? 640K. It was 640K, but less than a meg. And it also had storage, since we're talking about data today. And this device, of course, came with storage. And if you look up here, there were two storage devices, a computer with two storage devices. And their names were A and B. And so how'd you start the computer? Well, you took this guy out, the DOS operating system, and you put it into A. You'd start up the computer, and the operating system would boot up. And then let's say I wanted to create a word processing document. What would I do? I'd pull that disk out, and I'd pull in my WordStar. Remember WordStar? I'd take WordStar, or my VisiCalc perhaps, or maybe my DBase 2, and I'd put that into the A drive and boot up WordStar. And of course, I'd have to put my file somewhere, and so I'd take another one, and I'd label it, my documents for my FSOX presentation, and I'd put that in B, and I'd write my documents. And so every time I had a new project or a new series of documents, I'd create another one of these out, and I would write up here what it was for. And when I had lots of them, what did I do? I put them in a plastic Rolodex, right? I had a plastic Rolodex with 50 of these things. So think about doing a desktop search, right? Where is my document? Now you pull up Windows or Google's desktop search, and you say, find me the document from the FSOX that I did in June. Well, in this old days, we did a search by opening up the Rolodex and kind of flipping through and figuring out which one it was. One of the great innovations at this time, one that was really fantastic, technology innovations. Does everyone remember when they color-coded these? When you could actually buy not just plastic, but black, but red and yellow and green? That was the innovation. So we recognized that two floppy drives, A and B, were nice, but really didn't get us what we wanted to. We wanted data center type stuff. And eventually, they sold for $1,000. I could get an external hard drive. And so that was about the size of a small toaster. It made a noise. It hummed. It vibrated the desk a little bit. And it had tons of storage. Tons. Anyone know how much that was? What's tons of storage in 1985? 10 megabytes. 10 megabytes. Enough to store 2 songs, a couple high-definition pictures, 5 versions of this PowerPoint. And that cost $1,000. So I was at Staples the other day, and I'm looking at the external hard drives for PCs, and the size of my iPhone, right, this one here, there's a storage device you can buy, right? Looks just like that with a USB port on it.